The Overwatch League All-Star Weekend is coming up pretty soon, and with it we got two sick new skins for Lucio and Mercy, just like how last year we got the skin for Genji and Tracer based on the two different divisions. This got me thinking though, why is it that we don't hear about the divisions more, rather than just at the beginning of the Overwatch League season and when these All-Star events come around? Well, today we're going to be talking about why the Overwatch League divisions don't matter, but they should. So let's break it down for those of you who don't know. So the Overwatch League is divided into two divisions, the Atlantic and the Pacific Division. Over in the Atlantic Division, we have the Atlanta Reign, the Boston Uprising, the Florida Mayhem, the Houston Outlaws, the London Spitfire, New York Excelsior, Paris Eternal, Philadelphia Fusion, Toronto Defiant, and Washington Justice. Over in the Pacific Division, we have the Chengdu Hunters, the Dallas Fuel, the Guangzhou Charge, the Hangzhou Spark, the Los Angeles Gladiators, the LA Valiant, San Francisco Shock, the Seoul Dynasty, the Shanghai Dragons, and the Vancouver Titans. For the Overwatch All-Star Weekend, fans got to choose which players they wanted to represent their division, only from, of course, the teams that were in that division. The Atlantic Division is going to host Jonak from the New York Excelsior, Arc from the Washington Justice, Carpe from the Philadelphia Fusion, Pine from the New York Excelsior as well, Poco from the Philadelphia Fusion, and Fusions from the Boston Uprising. The Pacific Division will host Ryu Jaehong from the Seoul Dynasty, Yevatol from Chengdu Hunters, Jinmu from the Chengdu Hunters, Fleta from Seoul Dynasty, Gushui from Hangzhou Spark, and Amang from the Chengdu Hunters as well. Now this All-Star event is bound to be cool. It was really awesome last year, but let's talk about how these divisions impact the regular season on a day-to-day basis. When it comes to scheduling, you would think that scheduling was based off the division. You would play the teams that are in your division and then the top teams get put into the playoffs. Well, it doesn't really quite work like that. The Overwatch League is set up though where everyone plays everyone, regardless of division. Your ranking and map score is used to determine who will go to the playoffs, and this is very different from traditional sports. In fact, it disregards the idea of divisions completely. Let's talk about how they do it in traditional sports. And why am I bringing this up? Well, it's because Overwatch League has made great strides to be considered a mainstream sport, and it's obvious that they've taken a lot of influences from traditional NA sports. When you look at the NFL, there are two divisions, the NFC and the AFC. During the normal season, AFC teams play AFC teams and NFC teams play NFC teams. Now, they compete in a series throughout the normal season to determine who is the best team in that division. And then, of course, the best teams from each division face off at the Super Bowl. And honestly, this is a great model because it develops rivalries, not just within your division, but also outside of your division. If your team got a chance to be in the Super Bowl, obviously you want whoever they faced last time to come back again so you can beat them if you lost. Or, like the Patriots have done for years, you can just let every team from the other division try to take you on each year, year after year, and hold that position and be dominant, not just in your own division, but in all of the Overwatch League. Now, we just saw the Dallas Fuel homestand event, and they proved that a battle for Texas can be just as fiery as a battle for LA. Now, here is where I make my biggest and boldest and most controversial statement of the video, and that is to just reshuffle the divisions. If they want to do these home games based on division and do a whole home and away series, then they need to make travel a little bit more cost effective as well. Having teams fly back and forth from the United States and China every other week is going to get exhausting, and also that is going to be a heavy constraint on teams' budgets. I think that they should still keep the names Atlantic and Pacific Division, but they should take into account the geographical location of each team and shape the divisions around which 10 teams are closest to each other geographically. Another reason why I say this is because if next season teams only play in their divisions, we're not going to get a battle for Texas. We won't get a battle for Canada because those two teams are on opposite divisions. And because players can be drafted from any country, any nationality, wherever in the world to any team, this still allows a lot of flexibility for the teams and who they have. And additionally, when you look at the top 10 teams according to Overwatch League, only 2 of them are from the Atlantic Division, which means that we are seeing a lot of the dominant teams being in the Pacific Division, and shaking that up a little bit could be a cool change. By changing the divisions and making sure that the teams are a little bit closer together, it would make adding new teams a lot easier because you could choose from which region of the world and which divisions you want to put the teams into. It would make it a lot easier for choosing which new teams are going to be added, even though we won't see them in Season 2 or Season 3. And while this may be a minor note, I think it is an important one and something that the New York Excelsior is onto. When it comes to Overwatch Contenders, that's where we see most of our players being drafted from. And if you look at XL2 Academy, which is now only taking New York players, and you have them go into the New York Excelsior, which is a stretch but is possible, you could see a very strong bond being formed between Contenders teams and their regional counterparts in the Overwatch League. Now, I know what you guys are thinking by this point. Okay, so what? We change up the divisions and people only play within their divisions during the normal season. What does that really accomplish? We'll never see some teams play each other. Well, I have a solution that accomplishes 2 objectives. The first objective is that teams across divisions need to play with each other. That's just plain and simple something that we need to see. The second objective is not killing GOATs, but seeing outside of meta play. And I have a solution for that. Doing more events like the All-Star weekends, where we can see teams from across divisions play each other in less serious non-stake matches, means that we will get to see players flex heroes that they normally don't, and we'll get to see lots of new and exciting combinations that teams are trying out. This week break between the end of a stage and the playoffs will allow Overwatch to maintain an exciting viewer experience while also allowing players to test their skills and try new things. My last talking point for the whole Atlantic and Pacific Division debate is that we need the skins. Make them available just like Overwatch League skins, but make them timed exclusive. You can either do this so you can only purchase them during the All-Stars Event weekend, or by watching the Overwatch League All-Stars Event weekend, you can gain special coins that will then allow you to buy the either Atlantic or Pacific Division skins for whichever heroes you want. You can lower the price or adjust the coin drop, but this needs to happen. It would be a really cool thing to have and would cement those idea of divisions and division-specific teams in people's heads. Divisions are even popular in League of Legends, arguably the biggest esport in the world right now. And if Overwatch wants to put themselves on the same level as League of Legends, then they need to do something that'll match and that will set them apart. Now, this is a big topic and a really big talking point that I've had with a few other people. So let me know what you guys think in the comments in Reddit. Just type them down below. Drop a like if you did like this video, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think.